Qualifying then, about to get underway here at Macau for the Wynn Macau Guia race. It is the TCR Asia Challenge. It is a two-part qualifying session. We're running a little bit late after the other element of the touring car entry for the China Touring Car Championship had two red flags in Q1, which has rather delayed life. However, be able to claw back some of that last time as you look at the cars in the assembly area. Two parts of qualifying with the top 12 out of Q1 here progressing straight into Q2, which will come after a 10-minute interval. David Addison, Alan Hyde with you for the first part of this qualifying session, looking at the cars ready to go. Everybody goes out in this with the real aim, Alan, to not be slow, to get into that magic dozen.
Yeah, and also having presumably watched the qualifying session for the Macau Touring Car Cup, keep it neat, keep it tidy, keep it within the barriers, and then you can have a proper, meaningful session. So maybe lessons will be learnt from that.
One of the very popular Audi RS3 LMS TTRs you're looking at. That's the car of Huang Ruohuan and Eureka de Jesus, the local driver in the Mac Pro racing team Honda. A car you cannot miss, and that I'm sure is going to be there or thereabouts up near the front of the grid. So the session is due to get underway in about 40 seconds time. Clock ticks on down and drivers ready to go. Let us hope that this is a less troublesome 20-minute period than the China touring cars had for their session. But once more, it's going to be busy. Lo Se Ho there, very rapid yesterday in the Hyundai. He topped both of the free practice session times and was doing 2:33s. So that's kind of the benchmark here.
And I think we edge closer to get this first part of qualifying underway. Q1, it was Q1 that caused all the problems, or rather two red flag stoppages for the Macau Touring Car Cup. And make a great sight, don't they? Lined up down the centre of the garages, at the back of the pit lane garages, just there you can see on the left-hand side. And on the right, you can see into the front of the garages on the right-hand side. But this is a very colourful part of the weekend, and there are advertising hoardings up and down, being walked up and down throughout the course of the weekend. It's loud, it's bristling, it's like no other place really in the world. And one of my joys of the Macau weekend is, if you get a few minutes, just to wander up and down and soak in the atmosphere. It's a great place to be.
It's always fascinating going to a street circuit and seeing how the infrastructure is used to make a race circuit. And it's not just the roads to make the track, it's what you need around it for garages, for a paddock, for the parking, for the facilities to get people in and out of the venue. Because inevitably, when you lose a good chunk of the place for the roads, for the circuit, you've got to then be creative with the rest of it.
And the pedestrian bridges. There are so many around this circuit. It's a long circuit, and that means lots of parts of Macau, part of the business working element of Macau, the shops, the offices, you need to be able to get to where you're going. And footbridges make it relatively simple. In fact, you don't have to walk too far to find the next footbridge at Macau. Its infrastructure is very well thought out and very well put together.
And of course, the government embraces the event. It's not seen as a burden or a disruption. It's a focal point of the year, of the calendar. And so a huge amount of planning and effort goes into making it a success and to making it attractive to everybody involved. So we're looking at the cars now threading their way through the Solitude S's, including number 42 there, the Volkswagen of Chan Weng Ton, the Golf GTI. And there, the Honda of Andy Yan, the 2017 TCR China champion, multiple Chinese touring car champion, the Hong Kong driver. Number 7, which is Huang Ruohuan, another regular in the China Touring Car Championship. He's been in the China Endurance Championship as well this last season, so he's done many a mile, and he's going to be there or thereabouts as well, I would have thought, up near the pointy end. But again, remember, it's the top 12 that we're looking for out of Q1 to progress into the second element, which will determine the leading 6 rows on the grid for race 1. and then you take the top 10 and reverse them for race 2. So out of Donna Maria so far, everybody being relatively well behaved, but then they'll start to press on, and that might just lead to a few more dramas once you get into the meat of the session. The Alfa Romeo number 45, the dark blue car from the Team Endless stable, the Giulietta of Yu Long, you've seen in the background of the shot, and now the cars start to accelerate towards the end of the outlap and onto a flying lap with there the quick Honda of Andy Yan, who represented Hong Kong, China in the FIA Motorsport Games last month. He leads the charge.
2:34.108 was Lo Si Ho's free practice time for free practice 1. 2:33.679 for free practice 2, but it was Lo Si Ho, car number 28, topping the times in both of the free practice sessions. But as we've seen today, free practice is one thing, qualifying is very much a different thing. And car number 3, straight away, that's Yen Chik Wai. Andy Yan goes on to a meaningful lap. You can see from the way the car is at the front of the car, scraping the ground and really reading the body language. They are certainly going to push for a push lap early on, maybe pushing a little bit too much under braking for Lisboa. Up to San Francisco.
Got away with it, didn't he? But Andy Yan, the trailblazer here, he's the pioneer. We've had straight back into the pit lane, incidentally, number 95, Hu Wang's Audi, the China Endurance Series regular. He's pitted again, and one or two others still making their way to the end of the outlap. But Andy Yan trying to get the banker in by being first on the road, get the time in before he encounters any traffic.
This is what you aspire to, having a clear lap for the first opportunity to put in a fast lap, a flying lap, to count towards the grid for tomorrow's race. And of course, we've got 2 races, the Guia race on Sunday, and number 3, Andy Yan, purple in both of the first 2 sectors in the Honda. Really pushing on is Andy Yan on this lap. Have to make the most of it when you get clear lap, don't you?
Absolutely right, and he's doing so. Comes then now down through Donna Maria on towards the Melco hairpin, and this is going to be the target time offered up, isn't it? So 2:33s, 2:34s are where they need to be aiming for. Oh, very close to the Armco on the outside of the hairpin. There was Andy Yan. That was about as close as we've seen anybody get.
I was about to say exactly the same thing. We've not seen anyone come closer over the course of this weekend so far. And was there a kiss?
If there was, it was a peck more than a full-on, but he got away with that.
And close there as well.
Yeah, so Andy Yan has left nothing on the table on this lap, although his third sector isn't the absolute best. Look, as he comes down now towards our bend, flicks the car into the right-hander, powers his way up towards the line. So this will be the benchmark lap. There's also Lo Si Ho out on track looking good. Andy Yan does go fastest then and does the time at 2:33.914 with Lo Si Ho being second, 2:35.551. And then it's Felipe de Souza, the driver from Macau in the Champ Motorsport Audi, up to third.
Really is still pushing on, is Andy Yan. So not content with going purple on the first of the flying laps, having another go while the track is clear and the session continues. That's Lo Si Ho topping the times yesterday in the number 28 Hyundai.
Yeah, he was impressive yesterday, wasn't he? And trying to maintain that pace. Well, he was 1.6 seconds back, but this might be a better lap again, look, because it's personal best, personal best. Threads his way through the S's. Over that little brow, drops down the hill the other side, and Lo Si Ho with the Hyundai stands on the brakes into police, and then he will head up the hill towards Moorish.
Yep, Moorish Hill, and car number 28, Lo Si Ho, quickest yesterday, currently second to Andy Yan, 2:35.551. First time of asking for Lo Si Ho, car number 28. Up towards the Melco hairpin, and a problem for the number 15 car of Zhang Han Biao. Turning the car around down at Lisboa, effecting a 3-point turn to get back on the track. You lose a bit of time. Lo Siho pushing on this lap.
Yeah, comes out of Fisherman's, and again he's done what he needs to, be quick, be tidy, and also clear track space around him. So as he comes now down towards our bend, he lost out a little bit in the third sector. So it was a good start, but whether it's going to be dynamic enough, let us see. The margin then as he comes across the line, it's a 2:34.091, so he's within a couple of tenths now of Andy Yan, and up to third fastest also has just gone Lo Ki Fung with his Audi RS3.
Yep, Lo Ki Fung in car number 36. We've got 24 cars in total out on circuit in Q1, and already they have done better than the Macau Touring Car Cup cars, because they only got 2 cars to complete a flying lap before they had the first of their red flags.
Felipe de Souza goes second, look, in the Audi, so the margin now is 0.6 of a second against Andy Yan. Goes out of Mandarin and also up into third in the times now. It's got number 7 of Roy.
So Andy Yan, quickest, 2:33.217. We're looking at the car which is currently second quickest. That's Felipe de Souza with a 2 minutes 33.857. Number 7 quickest, Huang Ruohan in the Audi with a 2:34.055. Now they are almost already at the halfway point in Q1, so 20 minutes quicker than 25, doesn't it? We are already halfway through. They have completed 2 flying laps.
And Andy Yan had backed off, hadn't he, on that lap? So I think he feels he's probably done enough. And the more laps you do in Q1, the more you're going to hurt tyres in Q2.
That's a very good point, yeah. So if you feel you've done enough, then probably best when you're looking at the top cars going into Q2. You don't have to be on top of the times, and it can be with a fair amount of confidence that a 2:33.217 will progress into Q2. De Souza looks to be a reasonably pressing on lap, currently second.
And again, as long as he's into that magic 12, the heroics can come in the second part of the session, can't they?
They certainly can. And a shootout for pole position over 10 minutes. If you think 20 minutes is a reasonably short amount of time for a qualifying session, halve it, and you really have to make that count as soon as the cars go out on track.
Think back to the 1990s era of the British Touring Car Championship, for example. It was 1 lap in qualifying, wasn't it? The one-shot showdown.
The one-shot showdown, yeah.
For our older listeners. So, towards the end of the lap comes Felipe de Souza.
Took quite a long time as well, the one-shot showdown, because you would have a car on the out lap, a car on a quick lap, and a car on an in lap. So you'd only have 3 cars on the circuit at one time. So the whole process did take quite a while to get through. Yeah.
Now there, going slowly, is Huang Ruohan, who is 4th in the times, but keeping out of everybody's way, heading for the pit lane as more of the Audis come filing through. There, number 42, the Volkswagen Golf of Chan Wen-tong. That's looked quick all weekend, but deceptive because it's dropped down to 9th. In fact, last time the spectacularly liveried Volkswagen now heads up towards the timing line, and as it goes through, the lap is a 2:45.2, but keeps him 9th.
Chen Chion has gone better there, up to 6th, car number 55. That's the Audi TCR, and 95 improves as well. That's Hu Hang in the Audi.
And also in this battle pack here, we've got Eureka de Jesus with number 10 Honda, the bright pink car, 3rd in the queue, and that's up to 9th now, 2:41.852. fascinating, though, how this has been a trouble-free session relative to what we had for the China Touring Car Championship session earlier on in the day. And
good.
Yeah, indeed. Andy Yan remains the fastest, although that margin is down again because last time Lo Se-ho was only a fifth of a second slower, 0.234 of a second.
24 cars on circuit, which means 12, half the field will progress to Q2. We've got just under 7 minutes of this session remaining. You were quite right. Andy Yan was into pit lane, is in pit lane. Top of the times, 2:33.217. The gap is coming down. Lo Se-ho some 0.2 of a second behind the provisional pole time at the moment. This is just to take the top 12 into Q2. De Souza is third, 2:33.857. And that's the 93 car of Ryan Wong. Currently down in 8th place in that car. So into Q2 as things stand at the moment.
He had an off yesterday, didn't he, up the Escape Road in the second practice session.
Yep.
Number 7 Audi of Wang Ruohan, which we saw slow on the track. He's now in the pit lane for whatever work needs to be done, and Andy Yan has done enough then, so that's Q1 done, out of the car, and strides around it, waiting for Q2 to get underway.
With an element of confidence as well, and I think that's quite right after doing exactly what was required. Put that lap in early on, bring the car in, don't put it under any more stress, because you might not necessarily need to make a mistake, Cal, but you can very easily have a bump in the car because somebody else has made a mistake, and you turn the corner and find all of a sudden that there is a car in your path. We've seen that already today in qualifying, something that really can't be avoided, because at the narrow point of the circuit across the track, then nowhere to go, I'm afraid.
Jason Mock in the background, lapping into the top 10 now, 2:38.6. They're in the white Honda, and he is hustling on now in pursuit of Chan Wang Ton, and he's just about going to be able to squeeze by on the run down towards Lisboa. Caught him just at the right moment, he gets the job done, makes the corner, and so now Jason Mock presses on, heading up towards San Francisco Hill.
Yep, Jason Mock goes out of sight at San Francisco Hill, climbs the hill in the number 13 Z Challenger Racing Honda. And
strife has developed, I'm afraid, for Mike, whose Volkswagen has walloped the tyres and the red flag is out.
Yeah, so...
He's gone straight on the Fisherman's, hasn't he?
Yeah. And bringing out the red flag with 4 minutes and 16 seconds of the... Oh, that's had a bash at the back as well, hasn't it? Oh, damage at the back. The marshal was indicating, see how this happened now. So it's a...
Goes around, hits the barrier and bounces forward.
Hits the barrier and immediately, yeah, the energy absorbed.
Strange place to lose it, though.
It is. It does happen. It's one of the more rare parts of the circuit that you would expect. High speed as well into Fisherman's. Recovery could be reasonably quick on that car.
And the session will not be resumed because we've done enough within the last 5 minutes. So the times that you've set will now determine going into Q2. And so the red flag ends Q1 with the fastest being Andy Yan, 2:33.217. That's Lo Se-ho, who was second fastest, 2:33.451, and Felipe de Souza third, 2:33.857. So that Volkswagen of Mike and the QMA Motorsports car, rather battered around the front and the side and the rear particularly. It went in with some speed, as you can see from the tar marks.
Yeah, and not for the first time today, these little four-wheel dollies will go into operation in order to just switch the car around, get it off the circuit, get it into a place of safety, so that very quickly we can get Q2 underway.
So at the end of Q1, Andy Yan tops the times from Lo Se-ho and then Felipe de Souza. Huang Ruohan 4th for Lo Kai-fung, and then Hu Heng 6th with Chong Shi-on, and then Ran Wang rounding out the top 8. Eurico de Jesus 9th, and Jason Mock in 10th. 11th is Chang Wei-tong, and it's Leung Kei-hei who is 12th in the Spark Racing entry. Those are the 12 out of the 24 that will go through into Q2, which will determine the front 6 rows of the grid for the Wynn Macau Guia race. So we are awaiting Q2 to get underway here at the Macau Guia circuit. We've had a red flag for Q1, but in the last 5 minutes, so the race director makes the decision not to restart the session. We're already running about 25 minutes late, so further delays they can ill afford because of sunset and the road opening times. So as soon as we can, once Mike Un's car is off the road, then we can get the green flag, and the top 12 go for 10 more minutes.
High speed that, wasn't it? Just looking at the highlights.
It was, yeah.
Heavily into the barrier down there at Fisherman's. They are carrying a good deal of speed. It's down from the Melco hairpin. The accelerated